Today, guys, I'm doing a little bit of due diligence on Berkshire Hathaway B shares. Of course, you should always do your own due diligence. I will tell you what I believe what I will be buying this stock at, and you make your own educated decision. My decisions and what I do are entirely different, and we're just gonna go through some of these three links. I'll put in the link below, but those are basically my sources for the day. It took me a little bit, not too long, about an hour searching around to find something a little more consistent, but we are going to be skeptical of the numbers, and we will move on. So Berkshire Hathaway, owned by Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger Partners, is a holding company. A holding company I was thinking was going to be more like an ETF. And it is kind of like an ETF, except for with an ETF, they already own the basket of stocks that you're going to be dealing with. When you buy an ETF, they already own something that matches an index. However, with Berkshire Hathaway, you're buying a holding company, and a holding company is a little different. A holding company owned by Warren Buffett is allowed to make changes, and he's allowed to do stuff with the portfolio without your consent, essentially. So that's okay. I think that Warren Buffett's, I believe Warren Buffett's going to use my money better than I am going to use my money, which that's just the way that it is. He's a lot more educated of a man than I am, and I am a simple investor. And we're going to talk about that later. Todd Combs and Ted Weschler are basically going to be taking over Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. And, I don't like to see Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger die. However, Charlie Munger's 97. Warren Buffett's 91. Holy shit. Pardon my language. That is old. And that's okay. Because if Todd and Ted weren't at least equal to those two, then they wouldn't be in the position they are. So obviously, if Warren Buffett believes that Todd and Ted are going to keep the company up to the same standards, then I should believe that as well. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about their asset allocation. So if we go to good old hedge follow, so they show, what companies they own, the top positions, not all positions, although it's looking like a lot. I'm not actually too worried about these smaller percentages. Come on. 7% Coke. Let's go up to the top here. And a growing percentage. 43% Apple. Holy, that's a very non-diverse. That's almost half the portfolio in one company. And I also own Apple shares, so that's something to think about. Especially for me, because I have a different, different agenda than other people. And then 11%, 11.5 in BAC, I think Bank of America Corp, Bank Amber Corp. So that's a financial company. That's 50% in two companies. So obviously with BRK, we're not exactly getting a very diverse portfolio. However, if we scroll down here, we will find SPY and VOO. So there's VOO, and SPY should be around here as well. It's around there. Oh, there it is. It's right underneath it. They own Spider and VOO, but VOO and Spider also owns BRK.B. So there's a bit of a circle jerk of money. That's probably why it's so little of a percentage. It'd be literally money feeding itself, which is hilarious to think about. It'd be like if I gave somebody $50 and then they gave me their $50, nothing really happened. So that's a thing. There's 30, almost $40 million just there. So 43 for two. My math's bad today. So, yeah, a little less diverse than I'd care to admit. The average PE for this portfolio also is sitting at about 24 as of me doing this, which is pretty high for companies that aren't growing very much. I'm sorry, but this basket does seem a little expensive, but I don't know if that matters. You see, if this source is correct, $144 billion of cash sitting on the side to buy, as of this being written, which I'm not too sure when it was. Okay, so last year. So obviously that probably shrunk quite a bit, but there's money sitting on the sides for this company. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think that's a good thing during these times, especially when things are expensive. You're also paying for free cash, which leads me to my next question. If I buy BRK.B, does my money just go into the pile and they will use that somewhere? So my guess is going to be yes. So that's just another thing to assess. To me, 24 PE average is quite expensive. That there's no management ratio for this because you're not buying an ETF. I mean, yes, Charlie Munger pays himself, but I heard that Berkshire Hathaway has very few employees, and the management ratio is basically abysmal. So that's a plus. Anyways, carrying on. I actually wrote this down. So we're actually going to look at price to book ratios, which is basically the value of the portfolio versus how much they're selling it at, which is 1.26. So if Berkshire Hathaway at $290, if this was to sell at a book value of 1, then it would be a $230 stock, 228, I believe. So 228 is the fair value here. Now, it doesn't exactly look like it trades at a fair value very high. Like, as low as it got was 0.98, so below book value, and that was the 2020 crash. And actually, during the 2020 crash, it only crashed about 23%, I believe it was, which is fantastic. Very good. That is, far and away better than most other companies fared. I heard that, sorry, I'm getting into my finishing thoughts, so these are just me talking. I also heard that, they buy their own stock under 280, which is very good. Yeah, so we're at Bank of America Corp. There you go. The average is 1.35, so it's below average, but not too much below average. Which it looks like it kind of hovers up and down between. I don't think it's not a buy based on these numbers, but I would like to see a little bit more of a dip there. I think that 27% above book value. If I wanted the book value to be back up to 1, essentially, it would need to climb 20%, which is about 3 years worth of gains. So if you bought it here, you could expect a 3-year loss, statistically speaking. But statistically speaking, this over the past 5 years, BRK has averaged 13.2%. So over the past 5 years, 13.2%. It would take 2 years for your book value at that average to be 1. So to regain what you lost by buying it expensive, which is really not that long to be perfectly fair with you. So that is something to think about. Yeah, that's basically it. This is more of me experimenting with stocks that buy their own shares back religiously, and Berkshire Hathaway, especially Berkshire Hathaway A shares. The A shares have on book 1 million shares. They are $470,000 per share. Per share. That's crazy. And that's simply because instead of splitting shares, Warren has made it Berkshire Hathaway's job to buy their own shares back. When everyone else isn't a great investment, Berkshire Hathaway is the good investment. So they buy their own shares back, and I just really want to see that, especially when things are coming down and companies with the most cash flow are going to do the best, and companies who buy their own shares back will also perform much better during these times. So Berkshire Hathaway has a great history of doing that. History doesn't mean future, and that's true for everything that you do in investing, but we can project that based on the past. And that's already burnt me with Intel, god damn it, but that's just something that I am gonna stay strong with. Anyways, guys, that's just that's my 2 cents on Berkshire Hathaway B shares. Just a little bit of digging, a little bit of food for thought. My price target that I will most likely be buying a lot of my shares at will be 280. I know that seems a little high from where it is, but that just means that I'll have a loss of about 1.5 years, essentially, and I like that. Well, 2 years. So that's just how she's gonna be. And if any of my math was wrong, correct me. And if you guys don't agree with what I'm saying, or that what you guys have found is inherently different than my sources, let me know. 100% let me know. I mean, I do these videos to help you guys, but if you guys are helping me as well, then that's just a plus. Also, I have like 15 subscribers now. That is sweet. I never expected to get a view an hour on my shorts, which is crazy. It's crazy to look at and crazy to think about people actually watching my stuff and enjoying the journey with me together. Anyways, guys, see you next time. Bye.